This video I'm titling Making the Connection, Coax. There are numerous types of feed line that we use in amateur radio. The most common type is coaxial cable, or coax. It connects the radio to the antenna. Regardless of whether you are operating HF, VHF, or UHF, the quality of your feed line is critical to your station. The feed line is an RF conduit between your radio and your antenna. All the energy you generate travels to the antenna through the feed line. By the same token, all the signals you pick up by your antenna must reach the radio through the same feed line. The problem with the feed line is it isn't perfect. It always loses a certain amount of energy. To complicate matters, all feed line are not created equal. The amount of loss at any frequency will vary considerably from one type of feed line to another. The most common type of feed line is coaxial cable, or simply coax. It is called coaxial because there are two circular conductors positioned coaxially, one inside the other. The inside conductor is usually called the center conductor. It is surrounded by a solid or multi-stranded outer conductor, commonly called the shield. The shield is usually surrounded by an insulated plastic jacket. There is also an insulated material between the center conductor and the shield. This material can be hard plastic, foam plastic, or even air. It is important, when making a decision about getting the right coax for amateur radio, to understand that there are trade-offs that have to be considered between transmitting power, antenna gain, coaxial loss, ERP, and your total ham radio station. Your bank account may also enter into the equation, like most hams. The dB difference in gain or loss on a transmission or a receive signal between the choices that are available to you are the very important issue. A difference of 3 dB either way will not be apparent to the station that you're communicating with on the other end, around the block or around the world. They won't hear or see the difference in the S meter. So let's do a little deep diving. This chart shows us dB loss per 100 feet over frequency. So prime example is what I'm running here. For HF, I'm using 8214 at the house, whereas in the mobile, I run RG8 Mini or RG8X for HF. When it comes to my VHF and UHF operation, I use 9913. So if we compare the two, 8214 has 0.6 dB of loss on the HF band, whereas 9913, it's negligible, which basically means there's not a whole lot of difference between the two of them. In contrast, 8214 on the UHF band has 4.2 dB of loss, whereas 9913 has only 2.6 dB of loss. So when it comes to VHF and UHF, 9913 is our best bet. And for HF, it has to go to 8214. It's just a less expensive coax that will work just as good for us on HF. Now let's compare power handling capability. In my mobile, I use RG8 Mini or RG8X, and here's why. RG8X has the capability of handling up to 1500 watts on HF, whereas if I use standard RG58, I could only do 1000 watts. And I do run high power on HF in the mobile. With that being said, 8214 is able to handle 3500 watts on HF, and 9913 is the same. And we find that across the board when we compare 8214 to 9913. Even up in the UHF spectrum, they're both able to handle 450 watts. Long story short on coax, check out your specs and get the coax suited for your needs. Always check out a specs chart or even the data sheet on the coaxial cable. Whether it's RG174 to hook to your HT or a half-inch hardline connecting it to a repeater. There's never a cable right for all applications, so pick the cable that's suited for your particular application. I hope this video has been helpful, and 7 threes from N9 LVS.